The first coins in recorded history appear in 1050 BC. Buried among the Shang dynasty in China, these coins were circular with holes in the middle, so you could wear them around your neck with a piece of string because pockets had not yet been invented. During the Egyptian Empire, gold and silver were highly valued but had yet to become money itself. They were used as jewelry and also as objects of worship and to decorate sacred sites. In the 7th century BC, the first gold and silver coins were made by the Lydians in modern-day Turkey. It was a naturally occurring alloy called electrum that was 2/3 gold and 1/3 silver. Turkey's position on the Silk Road between Asia and Europe, along with these gold and silver coins, made Turkey the center of commerce. Until Alexander the Great from Macedonia, which was part of the Greek Empire, attacked and defeated the Persian Empire, and as part of the spoils of victory, they took the means of minting the coins and also the design of the archer and incorporated them onto their own coins that would be used later in the Greek Empire. After the Greek Empire, we have the Roman Empire, and the Romans used coinage made of gold, silver, and bronze like no one else before them to help stretch their empire at its height from England, Turkey, Asia Minor, Arabia, all throughout the Mediterranean, past Gibraltar to Morocco. The gold coin was called the aries, and the silver coin was called the denarius. 25 denarii to a gold coin, which establishes the first gold and silver ratio. Next, we have what I'm going to call the colonial empires, led by Spain and England. As they went out through the globe, oftentimes the countries that they dominated and were victorious over had the precious metals, gold and silver, and that motivated them in the first place. And Spain had their silver real that they had mined in Mexico, and we called it pieces of 8, and it was used across America, all across the Pacific, and all the way to China as the standard silver coin of its era. And in 1492, of course, we have Columbus, who was looking for a quicker way to India, finally landing in what is now Haiti in the Dominican Republic, and this opened up colonies for the Spanish, and primarily they found silver in Bolivia, Mexico, and Peru. In 1641, there was a big change in how money was made. There was a screw press installed that year in the Paris Mint. It took 11 years after that, 1652, when they could finally start using it, because the people prior to that who'd been making the money, hammering it by hand, called the moneyers, finally allowed them to use it. After 1776, when the colonies became USA, threw off the yoke of the British, they minted their own money, as did all the other countries in Central and South America. In the last century and a half, in the USA, we discovered gold in California out west at Sutter's Mill. 2 years later, we discovered a lot of silver nearby Nevada, Carson City at the Comstock lode. That allowed us domestic supplies to mint our own coins. Then, in 1913, the Federal Reserve was created and the Internal Revenue Service, or the IRS. The creation of the Federal Reserve allowed a handful of bankers, or banksters, to control the U.S. money supply. In 1934, due largely to the World War I debt and the Depression, the Federal Reserve and the federal government decided to confiscate Americans' gold. From 1934 on, the amount of gold and silver in U.S. coins diminished steadily until 1965, when LBJ declared no more silver in U.S. circulated coins. Then, in 1971, President Nixon took the U.S. off the gold standard in direct contradiction to the U.S. Constitution, which gave us our fiat currency. Which brings us to late 2013. As all historians and economists of fiat currency know, fiat currencies have 40-year cycles, and this has been known since the Romans kept blocks of lead in their vaults and called them silver. And here we are, 42 and a half years into our fiat currency, and it's no coincidence that our national debt is up to 17 trillion in the shape of a parabola. In a little more than 30 days, on December 13, 2013, the the Federal Reserve's 100-year charter will come up for renewal. Please join me in urging your congressperson and your senators not to renew the charter for the Federal Reserve, which has been the primary reason for the last century's unprecedented war and debt. If history is any teacher at all, it's very clear to me that for the last 5,000 years, the people that hold physical gold and silver control their own destiny.